Welcome to the Pete Delatorre Business Hour, a daily focus on late-breaking news on business opportunities and economic development in South Florida, featuring the movers and shakers of our community. And now, your host, Pete Delatorre.
Okay, good morning, South Florida. This is Pete Delatorre, and welcome to day 4 of our new daily Pete Delatorre Business Hour here on 880 AM The Biz, of course, the only all-business station in South Florida. And it's a beautiful, great morning in South Florida in spite of the weather. We are in Miami, and I figure all this rain is just going to wash away all the stuff that's been hanging loose, that's not real positive, and right behind it, great sunshine, great time to be in South Florida. And I'm telling you, every day that we're doing this show, I get more and more excited about what's happening down here, and all of the business development, economic opportunities are incredible to the point of almost crazy. It's just great. It's a phenomenal time, and today it's going to be another example of that. First and foremost, we have a phone number if you want to call and ask questions of our guests, 305-541-2350. Of course, the show is sponsored by FIU College of Business, Kathy Parade and Associates, and PS Business Parts. And again, what we are doing here with this program on a daily basis is to focus on the key business and economic development issues and opportunities affecting South Florida today. We will cover a wide range of companies representing large, medium, and small businesses from multiple domestic and international industry sectors. And of course, we're living in the international hub for the Americas right here in South Florida. We're going to highlight, and you'll see perfect example today, movers and shakers, and of course the entrepreneurs of our local business community. Today, just to give you an idea of what we've got in store for you, we're going to open up with a gentleman we just met recently, but he is a mover and shaker, and that is Steve Nordstrand, CEO, Colliers International, one of the most prestigious commercial real estate operations in South Florida and globally. And we'll get to know a little bit more about what's happening there, and a kind of an assessment from Steve on what's happening with commercial real estate year to date. And I think even more exciting, what's coming down the pike into 2014. My second guest is not a stranger to the show. He's almost becoming my co-host here regularly. And that is Billy Talbert, President, CEO of the Greater Miami Conventions and Visitors Bureau. And the city, the weather, everything going on sells itself. But, you know, Billy takes us to a whole different level, and he is our number one representative globally. So we're going to get a tourism update, what's happening here. It's a great time of the year, and we'll talk about different exciting events that really have put Miami on the map and continue to put us in favorable, really presence worldwide. My third guest, and this is one of our sponsors, FIU College of Business, Elio Alfonso from the School of Accounting, faculty and alumni, and he will talk about the school, and we were talking off air a little bit about really the programs that they have, PhD in accounting, and some interesting ideas that he's going to share with you in terms of research. Yes, believe it or not, research that accountants do, and I think you'll find that fascinating. And then we'll wrap it up with what will be a regular segment every Thursday. It's called Around Town. And we have Clara Serrano, Freedom Concierge Services, and we're going to get to, from Clara, what is happening, what's going to be happening every weekend in Miami and South Florida, events, new restaurants opening up. Very, very exciting as we're getting ready for the weekend, and she's going to fill us in on all of that. But without further ado, let me bring on to the show, I think one of the top professionals in South Florida and beyond in terms of commercial real estate, and that is Steve Nordstrand. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, South Florida. Good morning.
Good morning. So I know you're a busy guy, and I appreciate you coming out here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Colliers International.
Be happy to do that quickly, and then we can get into more details if we need to. Colliers International is the second largest commercial real estate services company in the world. We have 482 offices in 62 countries. 13,000 professionals working for our company. We here in South Florida represent what we call the Gold Coast, from Vero Beach to Key West. We have 70 people in 3 offices throughout that territory, and we're excited, we're busy, and our destination is on fire.
That is terrific. And the organization is a full-service organization, correct?
Yes, we offer what is considered to be in the industry the widest array of services to developers, to occupiers of commercial real estate, and to owners of commercial real estate.
Well, real estate is hot again.
Hot again.
Everywhere you look, residential. We had a little segment of that a couple days ago. Commercially, and give us your assessment of what's happened so far this year.
Well, generally, business is up probably 25 to 30%, depending upon who you are in the business. That happens to be our business. Just like residential real estate, our real estate is local. So if you go to submarkets throughout the territory that we represent, you're going to see a little bit of a different picture. Downtown Miami, Brickell area is hot and on fire. Coral Gables is on fire. Aventura is on fire. Now, as you go north into Palm Beach and Martin County, which we serve, business is a little less brisk. But let me tell you something. Investors are back with a vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're seeing an imbalance of supply and demand. There's more demand for product than there's ever been before, and I've been in the business for probably close to 40 years. So product is hard to find for certain investors who are here from Europe, from Latin America, from Asia now. So business is really good. Now, if you're a tenant and you're looking to occupy some space, or you're looking to renegotiate your deal where you are, there are still some segments of our community where you can do that successfully, where there's still some space in some high-quality buildings and some B buildings. But you go into some areas like Coral Gables, for instance, and some other submarkets, and it's very difficult to find space. The one thing that is kind of a bellwether in the world of commercial real estate is when you want to look at the health of a community, you look at the industrial sector.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why do you do that? Because that's where goods come in and out. That's
the
where
buying and the selling of products. Yeah.
Buying and selling. Our industrial sector throughout, from Vero Beach almost through Key West, although in the Keys there's not much industrial business, it is as busy as it has been in the past. The vacancy rate, which is one of the metrics that we use to measure, is probably at 4 or 5% in the concentrated areas in the industrial sector. That means that space is really difficult to find. So now you're seeing developers building some spec space,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that the market is hot. So, Peter, in general, things are really, really good.
Moving into 2014, I mean, obviously this is a wave and this is a lot of momentum going on here. Do you see anything down the road that could present any challenges or obstacles?
Well, typically when we do 1-year planning, 3-year planning, and 5-year planning, both globally and here in our South Florida office, the only things that could interrupt business continuing are things like political turmoil,
Mm-hmm.
currency issues, some sort of an event globally that would, cause
Right.
all of the economies in the world to get nervous. But other than that, and we obviously can't predict those
Right.
things, the trend is up. We see more people wanting to be in this destination for obvious reasons, and my great friend Bill Talbot will talk more about that from the tourism perspective. But that's just going to continue. We see that for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Now, one of the things that we do in our business, we have a practice in a platform, we call it in
Mm-hmm.
our company, that services distressed real estate. And in meeting with the leaders in that world, and when I say leaders in that world, we call them special servicers, and these are companies such as LNR and others who take over bad loans. And we look at what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 years in loans maturing in the commercial real estate
Right.
sector.
Mm-hmm.
In 15, 16, and 17, we have huge amounts of commercial real estate loans that are maturing. There are some predictions that a significant portion of those loans will not be able to be paid off. that these are properties that are in trouble. Underwater is the term that we use.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to work through that. Now, there are more investors now than there have been in many years who want to invest in that type of real
Mhm.
estate. So we're going to see more people coming into our community and across the country who want to pick off assets at perhaps an amount lower than the current value or lower than the loan amount that is owed. So that is going to keep us busy in addition to the regular private sector business, if you will, for a long, long time.
I think if this great recession, as it's been named, has taught us anything, is to kind of temper your enthusiasm. Also, is not to get too caught up in the hoopla. And it's natural for humans to do that. And you look around, I go, boy, we don't see anything here that could go wrong. But you've always got to build that in to your planning, the unexpected, because it can and it has happened. I mean, think about what happened back in 2005 and 6. Everybody's saying, geez, we're protected. Nothing's going to happen.
No question about it. Now, one of the key ingredients that makes our business successful and that of the developers and the owners is access to capital.
Mm-hmm.
If all of a sudden something happens where interest rates go up 2%, 3%, there's going to be a constraint on capital. So you're going to see developers having difficult times finding money. You're going to see owners and investors buying buildings finding a difficult time finding money. So, we really are driven by two things in the commercial real estate world: capital and tenants. Think about it,
Mhm.
okay? So if there are no tenants, buildings don't get filled. I don't care whether they're retail buildings or office buildings or multifamily buildings or whatever. So we have to watch after the capital markets and make sure that we've got population growth. And I know you've talked about
Mhm.
this in the past on some of your shows. So we got to watch the population growth and we got to watch the access to capital.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the key here, I think, the message is, let's always focus and accentuate the positive and grow from there and always strive to get better. But, little the yellow lights of caution is do this, with strategy, think it through. And then once that's all said, I mean, move forward.
Absolutely. And you always have to be smart, not just in our business,
strategic,
but
right.
strategic and smart.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing and you're not spending stupid money, and you take the time to plan and organize and do correct underwriting and look at yourself in the mirror every morning and understand your own capabilities as an owner or a developer, that's going to get you through the difficult times.
Absolutely. Steve, the time has flown.
Awesome.
This is incredible. You know that you're coming back to the show. We just got to reschedule you again.
Awesome.
What is the best way for the listeners to find out more about Colliers International?
I'm happy to take phone calls and or emails, and I'll give my private phone number out on the air, which I don't normally do, but I'm happy to do that.
That's what's important about this show is that the
Right.
guests are giving out something beyond a phone number, private phone. That's
I'm happy
great.
to do it. It's my private line, and it's
I don't even have that.
It's 305-476-7145, and the email is Stephen, STEPHEN, .Nostrand, and it's spelled N like Nancy, OSTRAND @colliers.com.
My friend, thank you.
Pleasure, Peter.
This has
Thank
been
you, sir.
terrific. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. I want to hear Bill now.
A Bill now, absolutely. Well, we're all going to hear Bill after a short break, so do not touch that dial. We will be right back.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Pete De La Torre Business Hour here on 880 AM The Biz.
Make it your business to get to know and learn about the globally ranked graduate business programs at Florida International University. The Chapman Graduate School of Business is currently offering highly renowned MBAs, including the Executive MBA and a Healthcare MBA, as well as 8 specialized master degrees. Classes start every August and January in 3 convenient locations: the main Miami campus, the Broward Pines Center in Pembroke Pines, and more recently, the state-of-the-art facility in the center of Brickell Avenue's financial district. Get to know more about them at business.fiu.edu or call them at 305-348-5700. 0148. Kathy Pareto and Associates is an independent fee-only investment management and financial planning firm. The firm's certified financial planners provide personalized, ongoing, or hourly-based financial planning and investment management services. More and more individuals and families are using the services of fee-only independent advisors to help them with their personal financial plans and investments. You may be asking why. The reason for this trend is simple. With a fiduciary fee-only advisor, you have a dedicated and unbiased professional that not only has your best interests at heart, but also adheres to the highest standards of ethics within the financial services industry. Kathy Pareto and Associates has been recognized in Worth Magazine as a top 250 wealth advisor in 2008 and a top 10 most dependable wealth managers for women in Forbes magazine. Call them today at 305-648-9814 to set up a complimentary initial consultation, or visit them at the web at www.kathypareto.com. That's Kathy with a C.
Welcome back to the Pete Delatorre Business Hour here on 880 AM The Biz. And now, your host, Pete Delatorre.
Okay, everyone, welcome back to the Pete Delatorre Business Hour here on 880 AM The Biz, of course, the only all-business radio station in South Florida. And I say that with pride because we're the only deal in town, this station. It's got great programming, phenomenal host, great information, and I'm so fortunate to be part of this team. And, you know, we're on to bigger and better things, so I'm very, very proud to always say that. Steve has had so much fun. He's going to hang loose here for a little bit of time, and I think one of the reasons is he's got a dear friend of his and a great friend of mine and a dear friend of the city of Miami and to the world is Mr. Billy Talbert, the one and only president, CEO of the Greater Miami Conventions and Visitors Bureau. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, the Pete Delatorre Business Hour. By the way, I love this new studio. This is really beautiful.
Isn't this cool?
Yeah.
You feel like you're WKRP in Cincinnati
Yeah.
type thing? That kind of an outlook there.
I'm honored to be here during the first week with my friend and colleague. Steve is very modest. He's a former chair and one of the founders of the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. And a lot of the success we have today is because of Steve Nostrand. So.
What, absolutely, and that's why you defer.
That's why Steve wanted to
Steve
stay.
went first, and that's why I wanted to stay. Let me check up on things here. Let me see what's going on. So, talking about what's going on, what's happening, man? I mean, or what's not happening?
Well, you know, we always have we call them now Miami Temptations Month, and presented by MasterCard. I think all of your listeners know we were on the show for Miami Spice,
Yep.
August and September.
Mm-hmm.
Record 215 restaurants. That's behind us. And now October is what, Pete?
You tell me. October is everything going. It's the first month of my daily show. Let's put
Okay,
it that
that's
way.
good. Well, we have Miami Attractions Month
Yes.
back again this year. We have a record 18 attractions. You buy one ticket and you get a free ticket and some other offers. And that website is MiamiAttractionsMonth.com. MiamiAttractionsMonth.com, and you can see the splash page and the list of 18 of our finest attractions. And this is probably the 5th or 6th year of October being a Miami Attractions Month. We're very excited about that. We now have, I think, 10 months of the year covered.
I was just going to.
We started 12 years ago, and Steve was involved in the formation. We wanted to, of all things, if you can imagine back that long, to jumpstart business during the summer.
Exactly.
And so somebody said, Steve was involved in that. Well, let's have a restaurant month. No. You only have restaurant weeks. So we engaged in that 12 years ago, and now August and September are Miami Spice months. July and August, Miami Spa month.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got golf and shopping and museums and throughout the year. And the Pete Delatorre Business Hour could buy a whole month if you'd like to. We have a month open. But
Thank you.
These temptation
I'm
months.
supposed to be getting sponsors, not spending.
Oh,
money.
that's
I mean,
right.
What's wrong with this picture?
That's wrong. You gotta pay for this new studio. But these months are good not only for residents but also for visitors. And we've had 3.5 years of adding jobs in the hospitality sector. So we took a brief tumble. 3.5 years we have added jobs in Miami consistently. Travel and tourism is Miami's #1 industry. It always has been and always will be.
Yep.
Will be. Now, that's not to say we're not for diversification. We certainly want that. And let's face it, the visitors over time have built all the infrastructure that's here.
A lot of the visitors are investing in all the commercial properties we were just
There
talking
you
about.
go. So we've got, you got a new, essentially a new airport, a rail connector to downtown, just like the great cities of the world. And this downtown, and I've been here, longer actually than the same time, I guess. But
Do we need to take a toll?
No,
record
no,
here?
no.
How many years?
No, my view always is when you're in sales and marketing. Today's my first day, maybe my last day too. But we take every day as,
One day
as
at a
a
time,
new
man.
day,
Yep.
and our mantra is sell, 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 and we're also in the good news business. But I think in terms of travel and tourism, and Steve talked about his international offices. We have boots on the ground in 42 cities worldwide. Half of Miami's customers are not from the United States.
That's
And
right.
we're now a global city, and that's why Steve business prospers. That's why these new luxury hotels. We never stop building new hotels.
Mm-mm.
Other places did, and the future is very bright. But at the end of the day, the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau is a jobs program.
Mm-hmm.
They think of the glitz and the glitter, but it's jobs at all levels.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to look at this country was built on the hospitality jobs, when a couple of jobs and put kids in college. And if you look at Tax Watch, Florida Tax Watch just put out a report about the value of tourism in the state of Florida, and the average salary in the hospitality sector is about $45,000. That's not bad. Once again,
Compared to what the market is today?
yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what. And if you look at a hotel or a restaurant, those are small cities, and those folks are making a lot of money, and it's jobs all over our community.
Well, you had invited me a couple weeks ago to attend a tourism forum at the Miami Seaquarium. There was just 30 great minds in there. I don't know how I snuck in there, but I guess I came in through the back door. But I was.
I wanted to get invited today, and I did.
Yeah. I know there was.
The Pete Delatorre Business Hour.
We just talked about strategy. That's Bill's strategy. I mean, he sets it up really well. He's the master salesman. But I was just taken back because we had the meeting went for about an hour and a half.
It was really, a great mix of folks from various areas of the community. Will Seacom, the new CEO of Visit Florida,
who will be on my show
the
next
state's-
Tuesday, I believe.
and I think he waived his fee because of our relationship.
Yeah.
But
I'm still waiting for your bill. I've
yeah,
got a PO box.
I am
that
Bill,
that'll
yeah.
keep changing.
But Visit Florida is the official destination marketing organization for the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honored to be chair of the marketing committee this year. We'll be chair in the future. But thanks to Governor Scott and the state legislature, their budget, Visit Florida's budget, in the last 2 years has gone from $35 million to $63 million, and it's headed towards $75 million.
Mhm.
Why? Because of return on investment. It's your #1 employer. If you want to add jobs, that is low-hanging fruit.
It
I mean,
surely is.
We have here in Miami what we're paid to promote, one of the top vacation and destinations in the world today.
Mm-hmm.
Our market is not the U.S. Our market, we compete on a world stage. So it's just like London and Paris and Sydney and Miami. And we're kind of involved in, we'll call it brand management. You now got Port Miami, History Miami, really putting that word
And
to
everything going on at the port is unbelievable.
cruise capital of the world.
And
Last year, 7 new ships in 8 weeks, and we put that together. And it's a downtown port, and I've done a fair amount of cruising, and there aren't many ports as good and as well located as Port Miami, in one of the great cities of the world. So we're very fortunate. We're the only place in the United States with 2 national parks, the largest concentration of boutique hotels in the world, and jobs.
Now, tied into all of this is all of the great events here in Miami, sporting events coming up. I mean, we're heading to a season right now, started with NASCAR and then, of course, the turn of the year, the golf tournament.
Steve is a tennis player, by the way.
Is that
so he
right?
can tell you, yes. He's a
Oh.
very good tennis player, so he can tell you about the Sony Open on Key Biscayne.
And before all of that happens,
You still playing tennis, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Still
go, see?
well, we got to go see Steve play. Art Basel.
Yes. That actually, our Basel in December, and we were involved with bringing that over from Basel, Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
That was really, we're in sales, okay, fine, but that was the first tangible signal that we were a global city.
Mm-hmm.
They could have gone anywhere. They just opened a show in Asia, so it's not just Bill or Steve saying we're a global community. A great company, arguably the number one contemporary art show in the world, decided to have their second show on Miami Beach here in Greater Miami.
This is 12 years now. Is that correct?
It's about 12
About 12
years
years?
ago. And I can tell you that we know the folks in Basel and the folks on Miami Beach that helped bring it here. Neither of them ever imagined this big this quickly. And the Art Basel Miami Beach, if you read the book, there was now the Running of the Billionaires. My God, Running of the Billionaires. I mean, when did you ever have art? The New York Times in '06 called Art Basel Miami Beach Art Costco for billionaires. When did
That's a great term.
No,
I love that.
when did you ever have those three words, art, Miami, and billionaires, in the same sentence before? You never did.
That's incredible.
That's the clearest demonstration that it's ours to lose.
We got to stay on
ours-
top of our game,
ours to
all
lose.
one day at a time.
We take nothing for granted. Once again, it's the competition. You travel around the world, infrastructure investments, new destinations. When we go to the travel shows, there are $1 million exhibits for places you couldn't even tell where they are from. So, but Greater Miami, that brand is, the world can't get enough of us.
Well, I'm happy to announce here on air that the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce is now one of our partners of the show starting next week. So we're excited. That will be on Tuesdays, and I think our first guest will be Barry Johnson. So the beat goes on here. Bill, for the listeners, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
I'm not going to keep myself.
Private
Oh,
number.
come on. Steve did it,
Well, my cell number.
Or have them meet you at Sergio's any morning.
Sergio's Family Restaurant, 32nd and Coral White. No, my cell number is 305-794-5418. We said MiamiAttractionsMonth.com. MiamiandBeaches.com is our overall website. We've got a killer website. You're talking about all of these great sporting culture. And by the way, the number one Miami Heat are back.
They're back, my friend. And the two football teams are winning teams. So with that, my friend, thank you so much.
We're honored.
Terrific. The doors, the red carpet will be ready next time. I
I
promise you.
love the new studio.
It will be there. So thanks to you,
Pete,
Billy.
congratulations. We're really proud of you.
Thanks to my brother there. We're going to go to a traffic break and then a break, and then we will be right back with the second half of the Pete Delatorre Business Hour, and we're going to start with the business development tip of the day.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Pete Delatorre Business Hour here on 880 AM The Biz.
And now, WZAB traffic.
Delays continue in Broward County. Now, if you're traveling on the Turnpike, we've got 3 lanes blocked with a northbound crash on the approach to Commercial Boulevard. Avoid it. Stick with maybe 441 as your alternate. Now, I-95, we do have a northbound crash just north of Atlantic Boulevard. Looks like that's on the shoulder now. I would continue with problems in Miami-Dade County. Still have US 1 shut down due to a southbound crash at Chrome Avenue. For more traffic, follow us on Twitter at Total Traffic MIA.
Shutdown Day 3, futures fall from Bloomberg World Headquarters in New York. I'm Greg Jarrett. Since the U.S. government shutdown started, 1/4 of Microtechnology's workforce of 400 in Vienna, Virginia has stayed home. The headquarters is like a ghost town, says Chief Executive Officer Tony Jimenez. Uncertainty surrounding the government shutdown and when it will end has businesses worried about spending levels. However, a new report predicts if the impasse doesn't last too long, retailers could have a pretty good holiday shopping season. The National Retail Federation is forecasting sales in November and December will increase 3.9% from last year. It may be a good time to be related to an employee at GM. The company has extended rebates to more employee family members on purchases of its vehicles and boosted discounts coming after the largest U.S. automaker's first monthly sales decline in more than a year. The employee discount program now extends to workers' uncles, aunts, nieces, and nephews. Stock futures are down, pointing to a lower open. That's a Bloomberg Market Minute.
They come to Miami by air, land, and sea. They are businesses of all sizes and in numerous sectors. Some have a local presence, others a global reach. What they all have in common is housing their business at Miami International Commerce Center, one of South Florida's largest industrial business parks with over 3.5 million square feet of flexible space to fit every business requirement. Miami International Commerce Center represents the ideal business address for freight, flex, and warehouse users. Conveniently located near Miami International Airport, Port of Miami, major thoroughfares, downtown, Miami International Commerce Centers. Grow your business with us. 305-590-1515.
Welcome back to the Pete Delatorre Business Hour here on 880 AM The Biz. And now, your host, Pete Delatorre.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of the Pete Delatorre Business Hour for a Thursday morning, October 3rd, 2013. And again, what a start. Steve Nordstrand, Colliers International, Bill Talbert, Greater Miami Conventions and Visitors Bureau. Very entertaining, very informative. My friends, we want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. And not only hear from you, but if you've got with questions, and I always announce the topics for the following day and what we're going to be talking about. If you have a specific question that you would like for me to ask the guest, I know many times we're driving in the morning, and as of October 1st, we're not supposed to be texting in our cars. You don't want to get pulled over and get a ticket. Obviously, wherever you can make a phone call, if you're stopped, the car's not moving, you can call in, or you can put it on Bluetooth. But if you've got a question and you want a specific question that you would like for me to ask the guest, and again, at the end of the program, I'll let you know who's coming in tomorrow. Email me. The email is pete@PeteDelatorre.com. Okay? I'd love for all of you as well to become a fan of the Pete Delatorre Enterprise Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter @Pete Radio Show, and, of course, connect with me on LinkedIn. Now, what I want to do for the next couple of minutes is share with you my business development tip of the day. And this is something we're going to do every day. As a lot of you may know by now, I do business development training. It is a passion that I have. I really, and my intent is to help business professionals, experienced business professionals, take their business to the next level with a very comprehensive, practical way of approaching business development in today's world, post-Great Recession. And the topic of the day today is weekly and daily planning. We hear that all the time, but we forget how important that really is, because we need to have our own personal GPS as we go ahead in our daily business activities. Now, the key to success, this is clearly the key to success, is to have clear goals and action steps, very clear-cut action steps to realize your success. You have clear goals, and then you take action steps. And the first and most important task is that we get into a rhythm, a routine of planning our week and doing daily updates in our plans. Because if you go out there blindfolded and hope that everything falls into place, you're going nowhere fast. And it is more important than ever is that you take the time to plan. Now, my recommendation is the following: your weekly plan. Very important that you allocate anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours a week to plan. Now, that may seem like a long time and it's tedious, but those 2 hours are going to save you significant hours during the week. And when you come out of the blocks on Monday morning, you're going to be ready for action. When you're doing this planning, pick a time, either Sunday evening or very early on Monday morning, but make sure that that weekly plan is ready for that week. I mean, you may even do this Friday afternoons before you head out for the weekend, or maybe Saturday mornings. Whenever is the right time for you, but just know that as the week begins, make sure that you've had time, quality time, to plan your week. And when you're doing your planning, it's critical that every single week you determine 3 key objectives for that week. 3 things that you feel are important for you to accomplish during that week that are tied in to your business. And within all of that planning, since most of you, if not all of you, are responsible to bring in revenues, sales, income, dollars to your businesses and companies, that 80% of your time is allocated to what I call revenue producing activities. Either the efforts and the prospecting to bring in new clients or servicing and taking care of existing clients. 80% of your time, that is the bar that you need to set for yourself when you go about your daily and weekly activities. So make sure that when you plan that out and you look from a helicopter view at your weekly and daily schedule, that the majority of that time is to what I call revenue producing activities, to make it short and sweet, RPAs. Very important. Now, beyond weekly, do daily updates, because inevitably things happen during the day. We get sidetracked, little critical emergencies and things come up there. We need to know that we can come back to our default, which is our daily and weekly plan. So if you are sidetracked that day because things came up or an emergency came up, very important that at the end of that day or the evening before you go to work or first thing in the morning is that you take another 20 to 30 minutes to just see what happened that day, what you accomplished, and what is pending that you need to take care of the following morning or day. And one of the things I want to propose to you as we wrap this up, that every single day you ask yourself two questions. The first one is in the morning before you get started. That question is, what kind of a day am I going to have today? Okay? That has nothing to do with the results of the day. That simply is connected to what you do, your activities, what you implement. And secondly, the last question. At the end of the day, you reflect and you look back, what kind of a day did I have today? And again, it doesn't relate to the results and and hitting certain goals. It's what you did in your implementation. If you know that you go out there with a positive attitude in the morning and you know what to do and you actually complete most of it, if not all of it, you, my friends, are a success no matter what the results are. And inevitably, by doing this daily, weekly, you're going to hit the majority of your goals. And one more thing, take the time to document all the little successes you had during the day, whatever that might be, because we have a tendency to look at what we didn't do, and then we harp on that and we obsess over it. Take account of all the little successes you had during the day. So that is my business development tip of the day, and it is involving, again, weekly and daily planning. Now it is my pleasure to bring on to the show one of our partners, FIU College of Business, and they are a terrific partner. They were the sponsors of my launch party last week at Cuba Ocho, and of course, the lady responsible for organizing will follow my next guest, and he is Elio Alfonso, School of Accounting, faculty, and alumni. And welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks so much, Pete. It's great to be here this morning.
Man, you sound like you've been on radio before. You're a natural, buddy. This is great. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I did my undergrad at FIU, actually, in finance, finished in 2001. So I'm back here after many years. It's awesome to be back in Miami. Did my master's of accounting over at Nova in Fort Lauderdale, got my CPA license, and then did my PhD at Louisiana State University, and just got back to Miami this year. So it's awesome to be here.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back, my friend. Now, tell us about the FIU School of Accounting.
Okay, so the FIU School of Accounting has grown by leaps and bounds in the past 10 years. So last year, we enrolled the largest class in the history of the school. So we had about 1,500 for total enrollment for undergrads. Actually, about 57% are female, and about 43% are male. About 74% are Hispanic, 9% African American, 8% Caucasian, 4% Asian. So it's a great diverse student body that we have at FIU. So we have the Master of Accounting as well, Master in Taxation, both very great programs with great reputations. The school is ranked in the top 20 in the U.S. for undergraduate international business, top 10 business schools for Hispanics, so it's got an awesome reputation. New faculty at FIU, we've gone from 20 to actually 28 now. So we hired 8 full-time faculty here at the school. The students are really involved in different organizations. So we have Beta Alpha Psi, and it's actually an international accounting honor society, named Superior Chapter for the 5th year in a row at FIU, which is a great achievement. We also have the Association for Latino Professionals in Finance and Accounting, where students, they build leadership and career skills. They have mentoring, a lot of networking, community service. And a lot of students at FIU are really involved in the community. Some take part in the volunteer income tax assistance. So they help low-income earners complete tax returns, all for free. A lot of the students take part in Adopt a Road activities or the American Heart Association Heart Walk. And they do a lot of networking, socials, and a lot of tutoring. And they help out with a lot of the recruiting events.
Well, I mean, it's another example of the explosive growth of FIU in general. Just, 4 weeks ago, the news came out that FIU now is the 7th largest university in the country, in excess of 52,000 students. Number one in South Florida, second in the states is University of Central Florida. But that's going to continue. And this is a perfect example because of the quality of the programs, the faculty. And you're also very selective on your students. I know that you don't just bring anyone in. So that's what adds to, I think, the magic of what's happening at FIU now. There appears to be a shortage, though, of accounting PhDs in the U.S., correct?
Right, yeah. So PhDs and CPAs. So, even for Hispanic CPAs, back in 1950, there were only about 10 Hispanic CPAs. Around 10.
In the country?
In the whole U.S.
Wow.
By 1965, there were only about 50 Hispanic CPAs.
How did they track that? I mean, that's an amazing.
Yeah, the thing is, it's been a hard time for Hispanics and also African Americans to break into the accounting profession over the last 50, 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, even right now, only about 3% of all CPAs are Hispanics, and about maybe 1% are African Americans. Even at the big four accounting firms, only about 2% of the partners are Hispanic, and less than 1% are African American.
Well, my CPA is Hispanic. In fact, I have a meeting with him this afternoon, David Hernandez. I don't know if he's listening this morning, but now, what do the accounting PhDs actually do? Say teaching versus research, and we'll get into research in a moment.
Right. Well, so first of all, people that are accounting PhDs and teach accounting at universities, the number one thing is the job satisfaction is always really, really high because we love what we do. We love teaching students. And we love also the research. And people are really surprised that there's actually accounting research going on in this world.
Tell me about that. What do you do in accounting research?
So, that's why a lot of CPAs actually don't even get into research because they just prefer the more practice side of the profession. And then there's some CPAs that actually they'll go back and get the PhD because they really like the research side. So, there's a lot of areas of research that we do. One big area is what they call earnings management. You may have heard aggressive accounting. You may have heard the term creative accounting or just cooking the books in general. That's one big area of accounting research. So
cooking the books is not a good terminology, right?
Yeah, it's not something that you want to be associated with if you're a CEO of a large multinational company.
Yeah.
I'm sure one area that you probably heard of is when CEOs use what they call cookie jar reserves in accounting. So essentially, when times are good, they stash away money. And then when times are bad, they pull into the jar and take a lot of those, what they call reserves out. So, just an example would be when CEOs are going to, let's say, overestimate their sales returns or their warranty costs. Mm-hmm. So when they do this, they're increasing their expenses and liabilities today because they can afford to do so because the times are good. And then when times are bad next year, they can pull in and actually take some of those reserves and reverse them. And then magically they have increasing earnings next year when they weren't expecting so.
But this is all legal.
Yeah, the thing with accounting that you'll find is there's a lot of standards that managers have a lot of flexibility. So there's some that are clear cut, black and white. So this is illegal for accounting. But however, there's a lot of areas such as what I mentioned, like when you're creating these reserves for sales returns. That's perfectly legal in accordance with what they call the U.S. Accounting standards. And managers, most managers try in good faith to provide the right estimates. However, there are a lot of areas in accounting that managers may have incentives to kind of overestimate, which will directly affect, the income for the firm. It could directly affect the bonuses that they're receiving. So there's a lot of motivations that managers have to inflate these numbers.
But they all work within, approved guidelines, and it's nothing that's, unfortunately some have stepped out of boundaries. Mm-hmm. But I think for the most part, we're talking is creative accounting there. To wrap things up, Elio, what advice would you have for a small business owner regarding their accounting practices? I mean, what should they be thinking about?
Well, I mean, I think for accounting in general, you really want to have a CPA that has experience and that knows what they're doing, or even has a PhD as well. And I guess the reason is because for accounting can be very complex. Right now, we're also shifting over to the international standards in the next 5 years. So there's a lot of complexities, a lot of areas that if you own a business, that like you really want to have the right advice in what you're doing correctly. So I mean, contact a local CPA. There's a lot of great Hispanic and African American CPAs here in South Florida that you can contact as well.
What is the best contact information for the listeners?
So you can call me anytime. My phone number is 305-348-3267. That's 305-348-3267. Or email elialfon@fiu.edu. That's elialfon@fiu.edu.
Thank you, my friend. This has been fascinating. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
P. I really appreciate the invitation. It was awesome being here.
No, thank you. And thank to FIU once again for being a supporter of the show here. We're going to go to our last break, and when we come back, we're going to do our first weekly Around Town segment with Clara Serrano, Freedom Concierge Services. Don't touch that dial.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Pete De La Torre Business Hour here on 880 AM The Biz.
Kathy Pareto and Associates is an independent fee-only investment management and financial planning firm. The firm's certified financial planners provide personalized, ongoing, or hourly-based financial planning and investment management services. More and more individuals and families are using the services of fee-only independent advisors to help them with their personal financial plans and investments. You may be asking why. The reason for this trend is simple. With a fiduciary fee-only advisor, you have a dedicated and unbiased professional that not only has your best interests at heart, but also adheres to the highest standards of ethics within the financial services industry. Kathy Pareto and Associates has been recognized in Worth Magazine as a top 250 wealth advisor in 2008 and a top 10 most dependable wealth managers for women in Forbes magazine. Call them today at 305-648-9814 to set up a complimentary initial consultation, or visit them at the web at www.kathypareto.com. That's Kathy with a C. Make it your business to get to know and learn about the globally ranked graduate business programs at Florida International University. The Chapman Graduate School of Business is currently offering highly renowned MBAs, including the Executive MBA and a Healthcare MBA, as well as 8 specialized master degrees. Classes start every August and January in 3 convenient locations: the main Miami campus, the Broward Pines Center in Pembroke Pines, and more recently, the state-of-the-art facility in the center of Brickell Avenue's financial district. Get to know more about them at business.fiu.edu or call them at 305-348-0148.
Welcome back to the Pete De La Torre Business Hour here on 880 AM The Biz. And now, your host, Pete De La Torre.
Okay, welcome back, my friends, to the last part of the Pete De La Torre Business Hour for a Thursday, October 3rd, 2013. And thank you to Elio Fons from FIU. He had so much fun. He started to stick around here. And that's what we do on the show. We inform you. We provide you great information, but we have a lot of fun as well because you have to enjoy what you do and live it up. I mean, really, really enjoy your career, your business, and have fun along the way there because life needs to be fun and full of good joy and laughter. And speaking of good joy and laughter and coming up to the weekends, which are always so much fun here in South Florida, we have now the start of a weekly segment Around Town with Clara Serrano, Freedom Concierge Services, who seems to always be around town. Good morning, Clara.
Good morning, Pete. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. Now, we got a handful of minutes left on this show, and
yes,
there's
we do.
so much to talk about. Give us some of the highlights for this weekend.
Absolutely. First of all, I again want to congratulate you on all of your success, and thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of your show. So let's start with an event that's very dear and near to me. Today, I have the pleasure of hosting the Taste of Italy in South Beach at Escopazzo. This little gem in the heart of Miami Beach opened its doors in 1993 with only 35 seats and has expanded to add a second room perfect for private parties, increasing its capacity to accommodate a total of 90. Today, we will be having a 7 tasting dish paired with the beautiful old world wines of Italy, and a complimentary glass of Prosecco welcomes each of our guests. Escopazzo is located at 1311 Washington Avenue, Miami Beach, Florida. And again, if anyone is interested in attending, please feel free to call me, 786-307-3574, to get further information. Also, one of the big things that's going on around Miami this week is, of course, downtown Miami's First Friday Art Walk, which showcases over 150 exhibiting artists offering an array of art experiences that will reflect multiple mediums, styles, and trends in the art world. Miami's art world is definitely growing here, and it's a great time to get out and visit some of these amazing artists. For more information and for maps of participating galleries and museums, visit www.expoships.com/First Fridays. The next exciting event that's going on is that Broadway is finally coming into Miami. Well, not finally, but it's here again. This weekend, from Friday through Sunday, everyone is invited to go to the Adrian Arts Center and catch Mamma Mia, which Mamma Mia is the ultimate feel-good show that has audiences coming back again and again to relive the thrill. It's your turn to take the time of your life and experience the smash hit musical that combines ABBA's greatest hits, including Dancing Queen, SOS, Super Trooper, and the winner takes it all with an enchanting tale of love, laughter, and friendships. Again, it's taking place this weekend, Friday through Sunday, at the Adrian Arts Center for the Performing Arts at 1300 Biscayne Boulevard, Miami, Florida. And for the families, the Coconut Grove Pumpkin Patch Festival is going on this Saturday and this Sunday. The Pumpkin Patch Festival will include a variety of fun activities for the whole family, including a true pumpkin patch in the center of all the action with more than 2,000 pumpkins. Plus, the kids will have the time of their life by enjoying the hay maze, kids' fun zones with rides and inflatable attractions, and a dress-your-own Scarecrow Village with booths and ongoing shows on the main stage from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That is taking place again this Saturday and this Sunday at Peacock Park, located at 2820 McFarland Road in Coconut Grove. And the last exciting news that I want to share with your listeners today, Pete, is the opening of the District Miami. This is one of the most anticipated new restaurants opening this fall in the Magic City. District Miami fuses the best Pan-American flavors for a cultural taste of the Americas. Located in one of Miami's oldest sections, the District Miami is housed in the up-and-coming Buena Vista neighborhood. Its historic home has been transformed and combines old world charm with new world detailing for a warm setting with an inviting atmosphere. The Pan-American cuisine at the District Miami is rounded out by the bar's vast selection of carefully curated boutique wines available by the glass or by the bottle, and craft beers available on tap or draft. The District Miami opens up this Monday, and it will be open up daily till 5 p.m. with bar bite menus and specially priced beer and wine special. Dinner is served Sunday through Thursday from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays until midnight. Dishes range from $6 to $52. There is valet and street parking.
Well, if you don't have anything to do or had any plans, Clara just gave you several really good options here, and Clara's going to be with us every Thursday. Of course, Freedom Concierge Services. They do what they do, and they do it extremely well. So thank you so much. Thank you to all my guests that are with me here today. Let me tell you who's on tomorrow. Great Florida Bank, Ray Juncosa, adjunct professor at Miami-Dade College. Mitch Schlimmer from the Epicenter, home of the Entrepreneurship Hall of Fame. And our Entrepreneur Spotlight, Alan Vino, Rock at Ice Cream. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Have a great, profitable day, my friends. God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to the Pete De La Torre Business Hour, your home for late-breaking news on business opportunities and economic development in South Florida. Tune in again tomorrow at 8 a.m. for the Pete De La Torre Business Hour here on 880 AM The Biz.